Okay, so the second piece, I want to talk some about our finances. And you know, we're not really going to solve that through the Shine 2015 initiative. Really, we're going to solve our finances through the long-term vision that propels our church. Let me not say we're not going to solve our mortgage. You know, maybe somebody's sitting on 5 acres of undeveloped land down at 5 Points or some Facebook founder shares, and we've got a special envelope if we do, and we'll get a bigger envelope if we need it, you know, to solve this mortgage issue. But we're not trying to do that. You know, you could prepay $200,000 on this mortgage, and it's not going to move our monthly payment by very much. But our mortgage is due in January of 2016. It was originally a 12-year mortgage. We're going to work hard to refinance that. And the truth is, we're paying about $6,200 a month. Our original terms were around $9,000 a month, so we've negotiated that down just because, again, everything we take in goes out and we're breaking even. But again, the long-term solution here is going to have to come from the vision process. And I'll be perfectly honest, our team unanimously thought about this. Really, it's the best asset that we have, and we're all sitting on it. Well, we're all around it. It's our land. It's our campus. That's a faux pas there. We have to figure out what we're going to do with our campus. You know, the original vision, and we may come back to the video, the original vision was not to be a one-building facility with all the beautiful woods, as nice as it is. We have to figure out how we're going to get more out of this campus, because it's really the heroin of the talents, isn't it? We've been given a lot. The original vision was to do more with this, and we have to figure out how to use that to help us with this, because the truth is we really have not grown into our mortgage. One of the other things we would like to do as part of this initiative is to have a cash reserve. We really have zero reserve. Our savings account has been the same level for years. And poor Lou struggles with this every month. You know, churches use fund accounting. So we've got, let's say, $10,000 in the bank. Let's say there's $4,000 left in the men's fund from the barbecue, and there's $6,000 in the general fund. But if we need $7,000 for payroll, we've got to take a little bit from the men's fund just to meet payroll. And then when the offering plate comes in next Sunday, we replenish the men's fund. So we're getting by, but you know, back to the family discussion, we're just sort of month to month. We don't have any safeguard. So financial planners tell us we should strive for a 3 to 6 month reserve. We're just trying to take a small step, you know, in a 1 month reserve of roughly $20,000, just to give us a little security, because hey, we all know the systems are getting older. We've got air conditioning units sitting out there, and when the water heater burst this past year, we had to take that $2,500 from the men's fund, and thankfully it hit at a time when we had that. So a 1 month financial reserve. And on to our loan. We owe $10,500 to the United Methodist Conference. I think around 2006, our church sort of wobbled a little bit. We lost our founding pastor and some of the vision that comes with that. And we got a little financial aid from the conference. So we paid that down to $10,500. That cost us $370 a month. But you know, unlike a mortgage where you can throw $100,000 at it and not move the monthly payment needle, if we can pay off this $10,500, you know, applying the principle of debt reduction, that's $370 more per month we'll have, just for some more flexibility in the budget, but also to pay conference apportionments. And so let's skip down to conference apportionments. And this is the last financial piece we're trying to address. But conference apportionments are $27.75 a month, or $33,000 per year. You know, what are apportionments? The big United Methodist Church looks at a church, and it says, based on your demographics and your size, how much they expect us to contribute. But don't think of it as you know, homeowners' dues or franchise fees, because again, the conference doesn't pay our pastor's salary. They don't pay our mortgage or anything else. What conference apportionments are missional opportunities that really connect us as Methodists. You know, if there's a crisis, one of us can help our neighbor down the road. Our congregation can do more, but all of our congregations together can do a lot more. And Mike Sullivan pointed this out to me. I think conference apportionments actually start at our church and pay the pastor's salary for the first year. So these are really important, and that would be a big step forward on our missional outreach. So this is Dr. Martin Celia, pictured at United Methodist Kissy Hospital in Sierra Leone, a really poor town in West Africa. You know, a lot of you may have followed him. I did in the mainstream media, having no idea he was at a Methodist hospital and having no idea I would talk about him. And I sort of struggled with the idea of using his image because I didn't want it to seem like I was trying to take advantage of that. But I really think Martin would approve. Martin was fighting Ebola in West Africa. And the thing I admired about him, just from a secular perspective, he was a naturalized U.S. citizen and could have come back to Maryland, but he decided to stay. He decided to stay and fight. And I want to read you something that he said when he was first interviewed about why he went there. And he had no idea he was about to lose his life. And to cut to the chase, he contracted Ebola. He came back to one of the critical care areas in Nebraska, and he died in November. But he said, I knew it wasn't going to be rosy, but why did I decide to choose this job? I took this job not because I want to, but I firmly believe it was a calling and that God wanted me to. I'm confident I just need to lean on him, trust him for whatever comes, because he sent me here, and that's my passion. And asked about his philosophy, he said, it's simple. God will heal them, and money comes. So I just noticed that he said, I need to lean on him, trust him for whatever comes, because he sent me here, and that's my passion. And as a church, we need to regain our passion. You know, God has a big purpose for this building and this campus. And not just our money, but all of our talents and what we can do in our community. And we, you know, the adjectives we sort of came back to was a little bit flat, a little bit stuck. But we can do it, guys. We can all pull together and we can make this happen. And, you know, just by keeping this ministry open here and this focus that we have, it's really important. You know, I think back to Pawnee Cook, who came here last year, about this time last year, you know, homeless veteran. And there's a lot of things that go into someone's decisions and lifestyle that make you end up camping in the woods. But, you know, Pawnee found something here more than just a warm cup of coffee. I mean, he found a brother in Jay Brown. You know, Jay was just faithful to him. Al got him into the VA. The Real Life Sunday School class, a lot of us raised money for him and clothing. Just met his needs. You know, so we have a real important purpose here. We just need to sort of regain our mojo a little bit, you know, regain that passion. So now to the money raise part of this. What do we want to do? We want to raise $65,000. You know, that's our goal. And if we get more, like we say, we've got plenty of big envelopes and big offering plates. What would we do with that? $26,250 is the cost of Oxano. They would meet with us 6 times over a 6-month period. I sort of figured this out, like with their 6 hours per meeting, their travel, their prep, their facilitation, it's over 100 hours. I'm a traveling consultant, and I figured out that their rate is about half of what my rate is. And that's not because of anything I do. They're unique in that they're a not-for-profit. Most of them are ministers, and they just care about the success of a church. So $26,250 will be to fund our vision project, and that really is the core. That's the engine underneath our rocket. The 1-month financial reserve rounded to $21,750 to make our nice $65,000 goal work out. Repay the loan to the Methodist Conference for $10,500, and again, that's flexibility monthly of $370 once we pay that off. And then 10% of whatever we collect, so this example, $6,500, we would tithe back to God through apportionments. You know, God calls us to use our first and best, the first 10%, as He gives us all, and we want to be faithful to Him in that part of this initiative. If we collect more than $65,000, our plan is to just put more towards the financial reserve, you know, not to spend it. If we collect less than $65,000, the honest answer is it depends. Do we have enough to hire the consultant? Do we have enough to pay off the loan? We'll have to look at the priority of this. But rest assured, all of this will go to, you know, these causes. So we've said this a few times, this Shine 2015 initiative, which is really this year in giving in the first 6 months of next year. It's not the permanent fix, but this is a path, it's a first step. The $65,000 gives us a bridge over some of these financial issues we have to cross. But our vision, you know, what we do is really going to determine our future path. And so we came up with this logo. You'd be amazed at the amount of input and discussion that can go in the 4 little bullets around the circle. Those of you who went through the vision process probably would not be amazed. But what we decided on is, if you look at this, sort of follow it like a clock from 12 to 3 to 6 to 9. If we can come up with our vision and distill that down to the ministries we're passionate about in our outreach, you know, we're all going to be moving closer to God down at 6 o'clock. And we're going to be giving more because we're closer to God, and we're going to attract others who come into this church or come because, hey, this church is about this mission or that mission. And as we do that and grow it, that will enhance our resources. But, you know, we're not trying to go across the clock dial once. We need those resources to fund back into our vision. And we want this thing to be turning like a flywheel. You know, we really want this thing to move. And so what we have, so everybody remembers your purple card. And so, for example, if you pledge $2 in October for annual giving, and $2 is the most you can do, don't feel obliged to do anything with this special year-end request. We don't want you to take $2 here and say, look, I'd like to do $1 to this initiative and bring it down to $1 of general giving and do one and one. We have to have the $250 because we're break even now. That's our budget. So please, prayerfully, as much as you can, stay with your annual commitment. But if you can do something additive, we're trying to do something
15
more.
years. Wow.
Well, you plan for what you can, and you take what you get. But what we have here, we want this to be a year-end initiative. So think about it.